everybody. Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is session 146. It's been 2 weeks. Let's kick things off with a little bit of a recap. Previously, in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the party was in the process of regrouping in the training room outside of the Dorm Descentia within the Magic Academy of Dwemercore. But their discussion on possible courses of action was cut short as Halaster Blackcloak, headmaster of the academy, arrived on the scene. The Mad Mage was in a lively mood and attempted to convince the party to continue the tour of the academy. For their part, the party was looking for a bit more action and specifically a bit more direction. They had heard repeatedly that there was some sort of fiendish issue that had occurred in the conjuration classroom, so the party broached the subject with the headmaster. Ashes started by asking after Borden, and after finding out that his mentor had apparently taken a contract to fight this fiend, and then run out on it, the party decided that perhaps finishing that contract would be a good way to progress things on this floor. They bargained with Halaster that they would take care of the fiend that had been summoned, and in return, they would be shown the way forward to the next level, be given free passage through Dwemercore's halls, and be given an item from the headmaster's treasure trove for their troubles. Halaster agreed, with the stipulation that they could continue their tour while traveling to the conjuration classroom. The party accepted. They headed south, and their first stop brought them to a room that appeared as if they had stepped out into the open city of Waterdeep in the middle of spring. The illusion classroom. Here they briefly met the illusion teacher, Professor Figment. Next, they headed further south to the transmutation classroom. Here they found a large magic circle in which stood a golden statue of a young man, and across the room was a cage in which sat a large egg. Further south still, the party found the necromancy classroom. Here, Halaster was especially cautious, actually acting afraid, and warning the party to only ever enter the classroom if they truly were interested in the necromantic arts. Past the classroom's doors was a catacomb-like room filled with skulls and a shadowy floating figure, Nestor, the Spectre of Decay. From here, the party headed east, where they met Skriana Shadowdusk, a young woman who spoke gibberish, and her construct and Grell companions. Halaster acted laughably evasive around her before leading the party north into the divination classroom. Here, the party met the magical orb named Professor Bring, but Ezrah was dismissive of the classroom, and they quickly left. Further east, they found the silent study hall, and then east and south they found the detention hall. Within a cell here, the party found some emaciated goblins. Halaster overlooked them, and in fact, after some discussion with the goblins and with the headmaster, it became apparent that Halaster couldn't see the goblins at all and had no memory of them. After correcting the situation, the headmaster sheepishly sent the goblins to the Willow Wood at Bone's request. After this, the party headed west and finally found themselves near the conjuration classroom. The headmaster explained that there was an illusory wall to the north, and then stepped back, allowing the party to begin their work. Within the next chamber, they found the undecayed corpse of a student, a great tapestry behind which was a secret chamber and several chests, and then to the north, they found the illusory wall. But as they approached, a massive crossbow bolt slammed into Ashes' shield and exploded with brilliant light. A voice beyond said, "Finally, target acquired. Skella sends her regards." The party rushed forward, past the illusory wall, and found nothing. Ashes charged into empty space and heard a grunt as he impacted something. Matashtai came behind, lighting the lantern and revealing and showing a massive Orthon, a tusked, fiendish bounty hunter, Vangrath. The party began a deadly struggle with the devil. He was a skilled combatant, wielding a wicked infernal scimitar and a brass crossbow that fired magical ammunition. The devil was fierce and quite dangerous, and against any single member of the party, he might have been an insurmountable challenge. But he was unable to match the entire party's strength, though he was no pushover. In the final moments of the battle, Vangrath cut into Matashtai with his infernal blade, wounding the monk with a necrotic injury. Matashtai, in response, struck the devil down, but Vangrath was an experienced planar bounty hunter. Before he could be vanquished, he bit down on something in his mouth, causing an explosion to detonate from within his body. As the party ducked for cover, weathering the fire and thunder that sprung forth, Vangrath and his gear were obliterated and sent back to the Nine Hells. In the aftermath, Matashtai was still bleeding black from his wounds, but some quick magical healing closed them, ending the threat. A threat that they had walked into on behalf of Halaster Blackcloak, who they were in the dungeon to potentially deal with. And it was a threat that had apparently been waiting for them. And that is where we will fade back into the scene. So, let me drag you guys down onto this situation. Okay. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha! Oh, no. There will be a cat later, I promise. Okay, how's it going, everybody? You are in Dwemercore, the 9th level of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. You have just defeated the infernal bounty hunter Vangrath. And you're in this chamber where there is this kind of like streak of blood towards the southern wall. There's a statue in this eastern alcove that kind of has this drow woman riding a giant lizard, but the tail is kind of like snapped off. And then the door to the west is clearly marked Conjuration class. What would you like to do?
Do we need to go into the class? Or that was the demon we came here to fight, right?
Right, so it's safe now, but like there's not gonna be any like problems.
Would I know what this creature is?
Roll me okay, how much is fiendish like how much of a topic are the Nine Hells or the Abyss or things like that for Ezrah as a whole? What do you think?
So some of his educational focus has been in teaching himself Celestial and Abyssal.
Okay.
So there is some understanding of Abyssal.
Gotcha. So Abyssal is more on the demon side of things. An Orthon is a devil. So what I would say is that's kind of like, it's in the same realm, but it's not enough to give you advantage. It's also not enough, or it's not too little to give you disadvantage. So I would say make a history check.
And specifically, we have referred to this outside of characters several times as an infernal, which is a devil.
Sure.
So would Ezra recognize that he was told there was a demon and we encountered a devil?
Yeah,
that differentiation.
Roll me a history check.
24.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right? Like either there was some misinformation. Either there was some misinformation or there was some confusion, or there was just people being wrong, right? Or there was a demon and that demon was supplanted by a devil. You don't know.
Taking that information, I would look for the signs of a fallen fiend. The Goopa that seems to tend to remain, just in case.
There's Goopa on the ground in front of you. What are you talking about?
Outside of the Goopa that we created.
New Goopa? Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
12.
No Goopa or Goopa residue outside of the obvious.
I'm done.
Orcs attack.
No.
Okay.
I just say no.
What do you guys want to do?
Uh,
You're just standing in this chamber now.
I'm reading things. I'm like, can I use Grim Psychometry to maybe help Ezra deduce if that was the problematic creature, if it is still around?
But
do
we
we just
also
wanna open
have
the
not
door
gone
and
into the.
See what's in there?
Yeah, I mean, I've got 34 HP. If there is,
Yeah, I'm pretty hurt too. I'm pull up the staff of healing. I'm gonna hit us all with a
Oh,
mass cure
did you
wound.
make a Constitution saving throw, by the way?
for your shield.
Oh,
You already did make that. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes.
Yes, the paralysis and everything like that. Yeah, that already happened because he was
Okay.
paralyzed during the bleeding effect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure we
Yeah,
didn't
Everybody
forget
gets
this one part.
16 HP.
Because I believe Ezra, the explosion from Vangrath knocked out your concentration, and
Yes.
that left Matashtai paralyzed
Yes.
while he was bleeding necrotic.
You mean with my double nat ones on my Constitution saving throw?
Absolutely. Okay, so Matashtai cracks the Staff of Healing against the floor, and there is a surge of radiant light that washes over each of you, healing you for 16. How many targets?
Up to 6 or 5,
Like
I think.
6, I think.
Okay, so
It's 5
Mossy
or
gets
6,
healed as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. So everyone gets healed for 16. And then I believe like the concept there was like, oh, I guess we could investigate the conjuration classroom, but we're a little banged up. So you've healed yourselves. Now you are less banged up. What would you like to do?
Let's check out this room.
The door, you jostle the handle. It's unlocked.
I open the door.
Open.
Or Jay opens the door. One of us opens the door.
The door has been opened by either me or him.
You know what? Let's open it together. I
Yeah.
put my hand on his hand.
Oh God! Wait, I was ready for this.
I've been waiting 3 years for this to finally happen in this campaign.
Start hearing the theme to Titanic.
I'm prestidigitating the music.
Far, where
And then she doesn't let him on the door.
right. Oh fuck. Absolutely.
Great
Okay.
start,
You
great
open the
start.
door, and before you lies a hall, right? That leads down a little ways into what appears to be a circular chamber, and you can see from the distance that you're at, right? You can see that there is a massive arcane magic circle of some nature in the center of this circular room.
Massive arcane.
My character sheet is not connected to my token.
Is it not?
Yeah, they summon that there demon.
Oh,
Because I'm
Roll20's
full
being
health.
like super slow for me.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. I'm like booting up a second computer because Roll20 I fucking navigate Roll20.
So I can move things around just fine. But like opening up character sheets and things like that is super duper slow for me right now.
Okay, so I could do that, but I couldn't.
It's the alter. Together we make one player.
So I click on my character to get the bubbles.
Yeah.
My bubble is updated. My character's little bar is not.
What's your character's little bar show for you?
60 out of 75.
Yeah,
It
my bar
shows-
has been
it
wrong for
shows
the past
70
month.
It shows 75 out of 75 for me. So there's definitely some weird Roll20 stuff going on.
It's been broken for a bit. Like mine has been super low for a long time now.
What's
even
your
when I'm
show right now, Jay? And what is it supposed to be?
Mine shows 34. It should be 50.
It shows 50 for me.
Oh, okay.
So like there's some weird shit happening.
I'm not that worried about it. I can keep track of it in the little bubble, so it's whatever. I don't care.
Can someone add whatever I was supposed to get for HP and Mossy?
Sure,
I'm
I
trying
got you.
to decide, but it's like not cooperating.
I got you, fam. All right.
It's that Canada internet.
All right. I'm gonna start walking in.
Yeah.
I follow him.
Okay.
Oh, that looks like a sweet summoning circle.
Yeah, you guys begin to kind of like cautiously enter into the chamber. And yeah, you can see very quickly, right? There's a rather elaborate arcane circle, summoning circle in the center of the chamber. Let me pull open my handy dandy master sheet real quick.
Who's
Give you guys the whole thing. So there is this semi-permanent magic circle etched into the center of the room. Ezrah immediately, right? Like you come within 30 feet of this thing, and you can see that the way that it is designed is there are permanent portions of it that are the basis of a magic circle. And then there are semi-permanent portions of it that are easily adjustable, right? And then there are spare parts or pieces that are not permanent at all, that are very easily like removed or washed away and redone. And this is like how to explain this. This is like having a refrigerator, right? Like having a 20-year-old refrigerator, a 30-year-old refrigerator, like one of those old kind of like tank fridges of it's a fridge, it gets the job done, right? Versus having a decent fridge, right, that has like an ice maker and, you know, water coming out the front and blah, 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 blah. Versus a like new age smart fridge that does anything and everything that you want. It like changes the temperature of your home, right? Type shit, you know? This thing is probably potentially one of the most high-tech pieces of magic that you've seen, right? Yeah, time to buy milk. I ordered skim milk for you, right? You know, like this magic circle or the basis of it is incredibly advanced, and it would allow a learned mage to manipulate it in many different ways. And basically, right, like if you knew what you were doing, you could probably get this summoning circle to summon just about anything. Now the question is whether or not you have the power to actually, you know, conjure the magic for that and then control it, right, is another thing. So that's that whole situation. While you were looking at it, roll me an Arcana.
21.
You don't have a crazy amount of experience
With conjuration?
summoning things, right? Like with conjuration, necessarily.
Biggest thing with that is probably my mage hand.
Yeah.
I don't really index heavily into that school, though.
So
I don't think.
you got a little bit like, I mean, you have a basic understanding like you do of most
Yep.
magic, right? But it's not one of those subjects that you've just studied of like, I know how to summon all the things. I am a summoning expert, right? However, right, like you are a learned mage. And in point of fact, that's one of the things that you like to do, is you like to study, you like to notice things, you like to see puzzles and patterns and things like that. And very quickly, as you're kind of like taking this whole thing in and realizing, oh wow, this is like a really stellar piece of tech, right? For lack of a better word, you also notice that there are sigils in the replaceable sections, right? There are sigils that have been smeared or broken. The circle was
Damaged.
heavily tampered with on whatever the prior summoning was. Now, your 21 is not high enough for you to make out what the prior summoning was intended to be, right? But there's a fair amount of blood in here. So it's entirely possible that whatever the last thing was intended to be, what came out was different.
Slightly.
Ashes.
I accidentally clicked. I didn't.
Roll me
I don't know.
a history check at advantage.
Advantage.
18.
Unlike in the prior room, where you tried to locate, or when you tried to locate Vangrath via scent, right? Unlike in that room where you smelled nothing outside of the ordinary, right? This room stinks of brimstone. And what your eyes show you, trained in the ways that you are versus the types of creatures that you are, you see certain things that Ezrah does not see, because Ezrah sees the magic, right? You see the evil. What you actually see is in the same veins, right, of Ezrah notices, oh, this script is kind of like smudged, or this script is cut, right? You notice that, no, that's not really smudging, that's smearing in a different direction, and that's not really cut, that's breaking this sigil to create a new sigil. Now, you don't have any idea what those sigils mean, because that's not your area of expertise, but you've seen shit like this in books, or drawn in sand by your mentors, right? To, like, point out of, like, you see this, it means bad, right? You know, that type of shit. The symbols that have been placed here are fiendish in nature, right? They weren't intended to be, though.
Okay. I will.
You can
I will-
tell intent. That's interesting.
I relate that to.
Well, so
Magic,
like,
man.
you know from like script, right? Like, different cultures and different planes, when they write things, their script tends to look very, very different, right? Like dwarves versus elves, when they write things, dwarves use, you know, the kind of quintessential runic language, very hard edges, short, stumpy, all in a line, close, clustered. Elves use flowy script that looks beautiful, right? This has that kind of like jagged, harsh, weird kind of like look that's infernal or abyssal kind of like carries, which they're both kind of similar to one another, one being more orderly, the other one being more chaotic, right?
Wonder which is which.
I don't know. They try to
I
fool you.
imagine that abysmal script is just common in
Just
thriller.
abysmal.
It's common
It's-
in thriller font.
Totally abysmal.
Okay.
I can see that, actually. Okay.
All right, then. Well,
Well,
good adventure, guys.
I guess that was it.
think-
I will say,
We did the thing, right?
yeah, but someone did alter these runes. They're not just smudged in ruin. They're made to look like they were altered to look like new runes.
Okay. Well then, here let's make a copy of what it looks like and see if we can compare the handwriting to some of the other students.
Okay. You're gonna do
So
the,
I'm gonna go ahead and do like a. Well, I don't think I can really chalk it. So like, I'm gonna
No, you're gonna
try and
have to-
recreate it.
Okay, gotcha. So, put in your notes that you have, like, copied runes from Conjuration Classroom.
Copy
Do I-
runes.
Recognize any of the more unique runes that I can offer descriptions for when he goes and asks someone to draw a rune? He knows what rune to tell them to draw.
Hi, can you just draw this for me?
So yeah, some of the stuff is in your purview, right? Again, some of the when people talk about like reading the arcane, it's kind of wibbly wobbly because most different cultures or races are writing in different arcane scripts. And one rune from one culture might evoke the same thing as a different sigil from a different culture, and they might be wildly different, right? But there is normally some kind of like logic behind the transference from like language to runic arts, right? Or to the arcane arts. So you can kind of muddy your way through some of it, and then others you can be like, yeah, that means anywhere, or that means careful, or that means dangerous. You know, those types of things.
I'll pop it, Jeremy. Sorry, Jake. But this is last week when we went to the necromancy classroom. There was a dude in there, and I asked for his name from
Nestor.
Halaster. Was it Worm Riddles?
No, it's Nestor.
I
Nestor.
stuck myself on the wall and
I
actually.
swear
I
I
see that.
wrote that down.
And also, that is the same person that we were told to don't fuck around in his class.
Yeah, I'm probably it's spoilers. I'm probably gonna fuck around with them.
Fuck around in this class is fine.
I
He is
swear to
one
God, I
of the
wrote
7.
it down, but it's not in here.
You guys are at school. What's the worst that can happen?
We
Yeah.
die. One of the first things we saw was an assassination attempt. We
That's
die.
true.
It
That's true.
was just loitering. You're fucking crazy.
Both can be true, Zach. Both
Uh,
can be true.
says the individual who then later had a meeting with that person and was basically contracted to kill their target.
We were having lunch. Get out of here.
Uh-huh.
Mhm. So I would point out to Matashtai some of the runes and give him the appropriate what to ask for if he's looking for
Okay.
an attempted copy.
Gotcha.
Very
So
cool stuff going on. I'm gonna walk around the room. You know, like secret passages or places where someone could hide behind a painting and watch, like Scooby Doo.
roll me a perception check.
What are we doing?
Ruh-roh.
Over 24.
Not only do you think that there are not any secret passages, but as you go around the edge of the room, you see that same kind of like faint script that you saw around the door, lining the edges, kind of like where the molding would be in the top and bottom of the walls, right? Lining the entirety of this room.
So, yep. Looks like this room's all chopped up.
Literally.
Yeah. Nice.
Real chalky in here.
All right, I guess head back to Halaster to let him know it's done.
Okay. Hey, what's this?
Unite him.
What's this statue in here?
That statue is of what appears to be a elven woman riding the back of a giant lizard that is kind of like in a very kind of threatening pose. When I say giant lizard, it looks like a raptor, basically, like a big raptor. But
Wait,
the
what?
tail is broken off of it.
Sweet.
Like the last, like, you know, decent chunk of the tail is just like
Why's the
chopped
tail
off.
broke off? Was somebody hiding back behind it? I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Somebody sneaking around back there, maybe leaving some effects.
You go check it, take a look. You see immediately, right? Like you see a faint handprint, kind of like a bloody handprint back behind the statue, and the tail itself, right where it's broken off, it seems to be almost kind of like sheared off, right?
Probably demon related. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I'm thinking this is demon related. I'll walk off.
Pretty safe bet.
Or devil related, maybe.
Whatever. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know the difference. So
A lot of people don't.
Some evil bullshit.
Like, legitimately, a lot of people don't in the world. That's why you'll hear a lot of, like, it was a demon! And, nope, it was a devil. It was a devil! Nope, it was a demon. To the common folk,
Are you
a devil
saying
is
all
a demon, a
devils,
demon
demons,
is a
and
devil.
fiends look the same to you?
I mean,
that is what I'm saying. Yes.
a
Hey.
fiend is all of the above. So
Yeah,
yes.
a fiend is all of the above. But to, like, your common peasant, right? Like, if they see an imp flying through the fields, right?
They might call it a devil or a
They
demon,
have-
depending. Yep.
To them, it is whichever they commonly say, right? Versus if they see a dretch or you know, like a quasit or something like that. They're all foreign hellish creatures. You know?
I feel like hellish is
Yeah, hellish.
stereotyping them,
Hellish.
Jeremy.
I meant hellish in kind of like our terms, not hellish in
know.
D&D terms. Regardless, though, as you all walk out of the chamber, walk through the illusory wall, right, and are headed back the way you came.
I have my health updated.
You walk
I didn't,
into the
but-
chamber, and you can see there's still the cold corpse of the student. The blood kind of like dragged into the wall itself. And around the corner comes walking, carrying a armload of stuff, Halaster Blackcloak, who almost runs right into Ezra and goes, "Ah! Hey! Oh! You're living! Oh, this is great! Did you win?
Live.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
you
feel
look a little banged up. Everything's... Huh? What?
Is that
We
lunch?
did the thing.
Hey, it's
He-
lunch!
he's
Here
sent
you go.
back.
Okay, here is your corn dog, and here is your ham leg, and here is your walking taco, and here is your beef bolsonel. I said make it walking food, and you picked the thing that was really not walking food, so here's a bowl. Great. And here's a diamond for you.
Works for me.
And Halaster hands out each of these items to each of you, and there is a large amount bitten off or scooped out of every single one of your things, including the diamond. The diamond is like this, and there's like a chunk just bitten out of the diamond.
Wait,
That's the Mad
whose
Mage.
teeth can bite through diamond?
They look human.
Mossy's too
Like
much.
the teeth marks on it look like just a human mouth.
Goddamn, Halaster biting fucking diamonds now.
Not only does he have nipples that can cut through diamonds, he has teeth that can cut through diamonds too.
When did his nipples come out?
He just kind of smiles and he says, he kind of like, pick up Tex. How'd he go?
It's true. Yeah, he's dead. He killed himself.
Well, he's not dead.
He killed himself.
Well,
That's not what I paid you to do.
Okay. We killed him first, but then he killed himself.
Okay, well that's different.
Well,
Yeah.
technically, he didn't die. He's just went back to his own realm.
No, really? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ashes. Roll me a perception check.
Receiving. I do have my shield, so does that give me advantage? I think it does.
Not on this one. This
Not
is
on this one. All right, perception.
Are you
roll.
still in wolf form? You're not.
No, I'm not. That is 13.
He was below half and he didn't want to cut a bitch.
Do you get your advantage for smell outside of wolf form?
Let's see. That is heightened senses.
Yeah, it doesn't say
It does
anything
not
about
specify.
specifics.
Specify, so I leave it to you.
Then you would have advantage on this check.
Then I will roll once more. This
Yeah,
time
yeah.
with feeling.
Fantastic episode, by the way.
Yeah, Halaster's just kind of like very tickled pink with his whole line of statements and reasoning and taking a bit of your food here recently.
I don't care. I eat it.
Hey, what?
That's I take a big old rip off a piece.
Start
eating it.
Yours, Ashes, is like the outside. It's a big old ham leg, like you requested, right? And the outside is kind of like crackled and a little char here or there, like someone roasted it over spit.
Nice.
It's juicy. Oh, it's not juicy. It's bloody. Like you bite in and it's at first it's like oh.
I'm back.
Like, it's like
God.
someone just, like, stuck it in a fire and went choo real quick and, like, seared the outside of it and then just put it on the tray.
Still eat it.
Everyone else's, just as a heads up, is immaculately well made, right? Like, very, very nicely seasoned, very nicely, like, crafted, right? Like, you know, like some corn dogs you get from places, they're kind of, like, droopy, or they're really lumpy on one side, or whatever. This is, like, almost perfect, except for the massive, like, bite mark in the side of it, right? Same with the walking taco. I mean, you know, can't really make art out of a walking taco, but it's very tasty. It's very well seasoned, right? It's not super bland or anything like that. Matashtai, I'm still not even really sure what your thing is. I looked it up. It's like stuffing and stuff inside of like a beef like rib, like roast, like wrapped around something. You made some complicated
totally.
shit, but you know.
Look, he said anything, so
He did tell you that it was supposed to be walking food, and you just like.
I don't recall that in any way. So
I'm glad I have video proof. Halaster is just kind of like standing there, and you can see, right, like he's handed out all these items to each of you, and he's kind of like reaching into his robe and pulling out fistfuls of what look to be like caramel popcorn, and just kind of like shoving him in his mouth repeatedly.
Do you have any mustard on you? Or...
You didn't ask for mustard!
I did. I asked for full seeded mustard.
I might have missed that.
Yes, it is what it is. And I take a sad bite of my corn dog.
damn.
And I chew it like it's really dry.
It's actually not, though. The sausages is like very juicy, like nice sausage.
I know, but I make a show of it.
Yeah. It's like a cat actively like, this is what you always eat. Why are you freaking out right now?
Oh, wet food. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That is absolutely what happens. Okay, so Halaster's kind of like just shoving popcorn into his mouth and is kind of like, oh, okay, well, good job, you did the thing. Thanks.
We
I
did do
guess.
the thing.
No problem.
We did.
Now I've got to actually start doing conjuration class again now.
Nope.
Shit.
Wait,
Alright,
that's,
are you the
your
teacher
class?
of conjuration?
And looks at you kind of like affronted. Halaster Blackcloak, conjuration master extraordinaire.
The conjuration professor, was that guy capable of summoning that demon? Like, was that
Huh?
what was expected from him?
Ah, he looks over at the body and says, alas, poor Yarick. I didn't really know him.
Let's see.
I mean, he was in Dorm Descentia for a reason. He kind of sucked.
It is the
Wow.
worst I've heard that all.
Wow.
Wait a second.
I said you were just gonna start there. I expect you to rise to Essentia rather quickly. I made a whole statement and like, oh, I wonder who you'll replace. It could be this person or that person. I don't actually remember who I said. It changes on any given day who I'd rather replace, but you know how it is.
He was
Yes.
actually Ezra.
I'm sorry, what was your question? Could he actually summon that?
Yeah, do we think that he was capable of that?
Not intentionally.
Let's see. See.
Just a point of clarity. It was a devil that was in here, not a demon.
Was it? I just
Yes.
smelled brimstone.
So you could have said a fiend instead of, assuming its place of origin.
Oh, well, other people were saying demon, so I was just like, it's a demon. I'm sorry, did it cause problems?
No, it's just
Did you have some
details are important.
Did you have some special anti-devil magic prepared?
It's details are important.
Did you have this is the anti-devil black arrow that I can use in this particular situation?
No, unfortunately not.
Funny it would
I-
be if
I
that's what he
mean-
gave us as a reward.
It's good to
Hey,
know.
I had
Good to know.
Headmaster-
Note to self: no anti-devil black arrows.
Hey, Headmaster, also Conjuration Professor Halaster. Do you like test in your class?
Yes.
Written tests?
Written tests mean I have to write out tests.
Like, what's the ruin for? Tree.
I
Or,
like
you
to
know-
do more practical applications.
Yeah.
Like, summon this thing or you fail. Or banish this thing or it will eat you.
Well, that does sound fun. It's not helpful to what I need. Or what I'm asking,
What
so-
do you need?
I don't know, handwriting samples?
God. Starts writing in the air and you see just magical scripts start to kind of like float into the air.
Not exactly what we needed.
Well, hold on. It might be. Hold up one of your pages and compare it. Are you doing it? Are you comparing it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Does it match?
Not a match. Not comparative. Not writing those runes, first of all, but also, like, even if he was writing those runes, Halaster has a very kind of, like, weird, almost kind of flowy cadence to the way that he writes. It's kind of like, big, right, kind
So it's
of
very
situation.
loopy.
Very
Yeah.
celebrity.
Yeah, it's kind of very celebrity, actually. It's very doctor, right? It's very... Whereas the runes that you kind of copied were very kind of like intentional, blocky almost.
Neat. So, thought there was reward for the tour.
All right. All right. Come here. Halaster kind of like pops down to the southwestern door and throws it open real quick. And he gestures into what looks to be like an empty chamber. Except that as you kind of like poke your heads in and you begin to kind of like look around, you can see that there is a kind of like built into the wall on this southeastern wall. There is a arch. There's the faint kind of like outline of an arch, and in the keystone is the image of an open book.
Is this a teleporting gateway?
It looks reminiscent of what you guys have identified before as a gate.
Oh shit, new one.
Yeah.
It's a new gate.
So you all kind of like immediately like look at this and you're like, oh shit, gate. And Halaster's kind of like looking in past the door and he's like, no, not that, that. And he gestures not to the southeast wall, but to the eastern wall. And he says, look there, the faint edges. And Bones, you immediately see, right? Like there's this kind of like little seam along the wall of what looks to be like a secret door. That's the back entrance. You don't want to take the front entrance. It's not good. I promise you.
Okay. This goes down to, I assume, somewhere terrible?
Down to Obsidia.
Obsidia, yes. I've heard this word before.
Also known as the Gauntlet. Or more specifically, Mural's Gauntlet. Alright. I need to... And you see Halaster kind of like wave his hand and begin to make sigils in the air. And then after like a brief moment of about 6 or so seconds, pushes his hand towards that door, and you see... Bones, you see, everyone sees this, right? But Bones, you can see the seam, right? So everyone sees these runes kind of like up in an arch over this section of the wall. And Bones, you see they're traced around the edge of this seam, basically. And then Halaster kind of like waves his hand and the runes fade and disappear. He says, a little extra something just in case Octuria and Trobriand were... correct.
The drive?
Okay, sorry. Where did you say that Halaster said this portal leads to?
Halaster didn't say the portal leads to anything. He said ignore the portal. He says there's a secret wall. There's a secret door on the wall that he's pointing you out. Yeah. And that, he says, leads down to the next level.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is there a switch or something I can identify on how to open this sucker?
Yeah, you see off to like the right side, there is a little, one of those kind of dwarven slide panels where you push it slightly to the side and press a button, and it'll do the goo kind of thing.
Ah, gotcha. And then you hear the Zelda "You Did It" sound effect.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. As you guys kind of like take this in, and Halaster goes, "You're not thinking of leaving right now, are you?"
No.
Good. And he kind of turns and looks at Ezrah and he says, "You have things you should, well, you know."
Is there something in particular I'm supposed to be looking for, Halaster?
Oh, well, I just think it would be good if you knew more about things in general.
Right.
It'd be better if you were smarter.
Ashes, give me that fucking tiara.
Give me that fucking tiara. Halaster kind of like looks at you and he says, I think that there is no way you and your allies don't progress further into this wonderful place that is Undermountain. And that probably means you're gonna go up against some things. Some peoples. And I think that's a good thing. But it's a bad thing right now. Because right now, you suck. And you'll die.
Thanks.
Fucking not holding back.
So you specifically, it'd probably be a good idea if you knew more about you. If you catch my drift.
Is he trying to sell us a Del Carnegie class?
Bard or
Saying
something?
Ezra's dumb. He needs to learn it himself.
There's, a
cat?
special thing you hold.
Yeah, they all
That's-
know about the Halaster.
Oh, well, shit. Alright, so look. I'm not gonna just give you the stuff. But I can tell
assume
you
that.
that the stuff is here. Just do some research. It'll be
Very well.
good.
Yeah, sounds
Probably. Maybe.
So, just out of curiosity, if let's say we were to stay for a while, are we just bunking with Ezra in his room?
How long's a while?
I don't know.
How many books are there that I have to parse through?
How slow of a reader are you?
Not.
It's my response in
Then
game.
not!
That wasn't a number. That wasn't a number at all.
I'm good at that, aren't I?
You're something.
Thank you!
You're welcome.
Right, so that was round 1 of payment. Round 2 is just you get to go whenever you want to go and do whatever you want to do, which is, I think I already said, part of kind of like how things work here, so. Woo! I have delivered this capability unto you! What was
And
the
number
third
3?
thing?
Item.
An item.
Oh,
Magic. We
All
need
right.
magic.
Anti-devil.
I said I would pick, right? I don't know that I really feel like picking.
Hey, can you pick a magic key to open any door?
I'll narrow it down. No magic keys that open any doors. You want that too much.
Damn, I do. You're right.
You can't always get what you want, Bones.
Fair.
Alright. I will narrow it down. And then you can pick from there. How about that? Does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go with, and you see Halaster kind of like sits there and thinks to himself. Let's go with.
Jeremy furiously scrolling through an Excel spreadsheet.
I'm not scrolling through an Excel spreadsheet. I'm trying to find which page I have the actual notes on. I can't find it. I can't find it. Because it's not on my notes page and it's not on my session plan page. Where could it be? Oh. A follow? Oh, I gotta resub. Thank you. All right. Halaster looks at you. Did I put it in the magic shop? I probably put it. I did. Halaster looks at you and he says, "All right. Here are your options. Spoon or crown or stone. You only get one, and no takes-backsies."
It's gotta
What
be
was it again? Spoon, crown.
Or
Spoon or crown or stone.
It's gotta
So-
be spoon.
It's
Okay,
got- it's
people,
gotta be
people talk
spoon.
again. What was the second one?
Or.
Oh, or.
Again, Jake talked at the same time. I have no idea what you said.
You said
Or.
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 Kind of like or as well. I think spoon or.
And it's not there's not a right or wrong answer. All of them are magical items. You get to pick one.
Spoon, or
Mm.
crown. What was the fourth thing?
Stone.
Stone.
Just out of curiosity, do any of them need to be attuned to?
Probably.
Somehow I feel like the spoons would be some dumb shit where like it will always have food or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What if it's you can
Be like,
you can
oh,
dig
oh,
and
hey, that was
skip
mashed
any
potatoes.
material.
Sorry, what'd you say, Zach?
I said, what if it's you can dig an escape tunnel through any material?
It's the
That
Shawshank
would
spoon.
be pretty cool. The Shawshank spoon.
Yeah. And if it wasn't, it should be now.
I feel like the Shawshank spoon should now be a legendary magic item that it can dig through anything. It's just it literally digs that much per turn, right?
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
a
like
It's moved to Earth.
It takes a
but
long
very
ass time.
small.
like that bitch will go through steel, but it's just like
But in time,
Man, now I'm like super curious about the spoon.
I think we should get ore.
All right. He says rock, right?
No, he said
But
ore.
that
Stone.
might mean like anything. Like that could be like any mineral. It
He
could
said
be like,
probably he
Oh.
said stone, so
Oh, he
it's
said
probably a
stone.
Ioun stone would be my.
Oh yeah.
But there's good or bad Ioun stone.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah.
There's a
It said
level
ore,
of
like an ore. I thought it was ore as in a.
yeah, like a
I
boat.
mean,
that's
Or-
why I
it could be
typed it
one of
out
like
because
four
I wanted
Thank you.
I wanted clarity for you
Ah.
guys.
Oh,
Let's get a stone then. Mossy likes stones, and I trust him implicitly.
he's just gonna feed them.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, at the end of the day, maybe.
Or
I rolled
Ow.
for it, so I vote or.
I vote stone.
I vote spoon.
I vote crown.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's survivor this. Everybody roll a 1d4, no, a 1d20. Everybody roll a 1d20, and the lowest roll loses their vote.
Okay, yeah. Everyone rolls a
I mean,
1d20.
why-
Lowest roll loses their vote.
Why not just have the highest win and we
No,
don't
we
have
gotta
to
we gotta
roll
draw this
60
out.
fucking
We gotta
times?
draw this out.
Jesus Christ.
Hey,
No,
crown's
it's
in.
super easy.
Oh.
Me and Zach are immediately.
Whoa! Okay, rollies between Mitch and Zach to see who's out. Lowest
They're
is
both
out.
out since there's two ties.
Nope. lowest between Mitch and Zach is out.
Bet you can't beat an 8.
Tried really hard.
Mitch is out. All right.
Yeah.
Fine,
again.
I don't want the spoon anyway.
Does anyone want to vote? Offer me something to vote for their choice.
Vote again.
No.
I vote for stone again then.
Okay. That's one vote for Stone. Jay, what's your
Or.
votes? Or
Spoon.
Spoon. All right, there's no consensus, but I will say, crown is now off the table. Okay, let's get those rolls. Let's see who's out again. Oh no! Oh, Jake is off the table. Okay. You can vote for or. No, I won't take the votes away from you. You can vote for spoon or crown or stone. It's Jay and Zach. It's ashes and bones. What are you voting for?
Voting for. Wait until I see his mouth start to open as he's going to say what he's voting for.
Jay's just. I'd say you might want to watch out because Jay's just going to vote whatever you vote just to take the scenario away.
I
saw it on your face. I was like, Jay wants to go second because he's just like, nah, I'm gonna take control of this situation. They're like, it's gonna go to the end. Nuh-uh, I'm just gonna vote with Zach.
Yeah. Well, now
I know how you operate.
I can't do it now.
You can totally do it if Zach votes
Stick
first.
it to my rock roots.
You're sticking to the stone?
Stick to my rock roots.
Okay. He votes stone. Are you gonna do it, or are you gonna?
Jeremy called me out. I gotta. All right. Ugh.
Just do it. It was your plan anyway.
Not spoon.
All right. Roll off. Rollies. 17.
Right, Jay gets to decide.
You rolled a 2? Okay. Yeah. Ashes, you win. What item do you want?
I thought I voted.
Well, I mean, that was in the situation. Now you get to change your vote. What do you want? Do you want to stay with Spoon? You
Yes.
I wanted to give you an out to be like, I didn't really care. I want him to have what he wanted to get.
I don't really care. I think Spoon's gonna be hilarious.
Is that what you want? You want to take the stone? Halaster looks at you.
Hey,
Final answer.
It doesn't matter what the object is. If they're all magical, whatever the effect is, they could have all had that effect. Like, it's irrelevant.
But they don't all have that effect.
Yeah, but we don't know what those effects are, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I'll tell you after.
Oh, okay, cool.
Well, okay then.
No. I think I'm most interested in stone, honestly. So stone.
Stoned it is! And Halaster's hand slashes to the right, and you see this like rent in space open up, and he shoves his hand into this black line, and whoo, yoinks out a little stone. And pulls it out, and you see a stone of multi-colors, right? All different colors of the rainbow. Smooth surface, not faceted, right? But each of the different colors kind of rolls or morphs across the surface of the orb. And brightens, and then dims, and then another color brightens, and then dims, and then another color brightens, and then dims. And Halaster holds it out, and it kind of like hovers in a small cyclical pattern above his hand. And he just gestures towards you, Ashes, since you were the one who kind of like won the little situation. And this little orb floats in this little circular pattern over to you. And begins to kind of like hover around your head as Ezra, if you didn't already have inspiration, DM inspiration, take DM inspiration for your correct guess of the Ioun stone. And now,
Halaster, does the LED effects require the Razor software to keep working?
It does. It needs you to update every week and a half. Not every week, but every week and a half, so that it's never quite on, right? It's just consistently off. It's really annoying, right?
Is it on? It's on Synapse 3 or what?
Something like that. Halaster looks at you and he says, "That is an iron stone of mastery, which is a legendary object
Wait.
that increases, it requires attunement, but it increases the wearer's proficiency bonus by 1.
Wow.
Damn.
And Halaster waves his left hand, and you see a trio of images kind of like pop up. You see a golden spoon that's very deep and has this kind of like liquid looking kind of like filling, right? And Halaster says, "That was a spoon of magic medicine, which immediately heals you fully, cures exhaustion a little bit, and removes basically everything. But you can only use it once a day." That's... He points at an ore floating, which is roughly the same size as the spoon, and he says, "Not everything appears as the same size for conciseness, right? That is an ore of rowing. You can make it row a boat, and it rows automatically. I'm glad you didn't get that one. And that's..." And he points to the crown, which is almost kind of like quintessential, almost kind of like Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, silver crown, kind of like peaked up, right? And it has like diamonds around the base of it, right? He says, "That is a crown of leadership, which makes you very charismatic."
Could have been a leader.
Which for mechanical purposes, it's attunement, but it sets your charisma to 18.
And Monster could have been a leader.
He could have been a leader. And you see, right, like Halaster tells you these things with glee because he's watching your faces as he describes each one, and he's like looking for, are you sad? Are you happy?
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
There's obvious like Schadenfreude-esque kind of like scenarios going on, but also just kind of like having fun, right? Like kind of just like a showman game designer scenario is just where he's just like, aha! Okay, anyways, that's yours now. Deal complete.
Complete.
All right. Well, now comes the arduous conversation of who's attuning to the stone.
Decide that.
Do what?
Decide that. How does that recover? Tour. Is that not...
You were
You're
talking.
cutting.
Can anyone hear any of that?
Yeah, sorry,
Your
Zach.
mic is a dumpster.
Nope, you're blowing it out now. Now it won't pick up at all. Yeah, right.
As I recall, we were on a tour.
Oh, you want to continue the tour?
Yeah, why not?
I just thought you all were humoring me.
I was enjoying it. There's a lot of history.
To the tour!
To the door!
And Halaster starts marching out of the eastern section. Or down the eastern hall.
We're touring.
Right? He says, "All right, we've been here before. This is the statue that's like, don't fuck around and find out, right?
Right.
Right. All right. This way, please. And Halaster marches back up the hallway leading through detention, and he says, "Okay, real quick, just verifying. Is there anybody in any of these cells?"
No, I don't
See
believe
anyone.
so.
Are you sure?
No.
So you wanna poke in there real quick and check?
Yeah, I'm poking one with a 10-foot pole.
You feel anything?
Do I feel anything?
No.
Nah.
Okay. I just verifying. Anyways, let's go.
Let's go.
It's up north, and then heads east.
Gouging.
Starts marching along. As he does, he says, "Okay, well, we're gonna start getting into a couple of little parts and pieces where, it's tricky when you make rules that apply to yourself."
Let's.
We're going to arrive upon some things. It might be good if you stay close and do as I do. Ah, good. I didn't melt my own brain. Fantastic. Let's go.
Glad Matashtai is gonna have his brain melted or whatever's gonna happen. Oh.
All right. Don't worry about this room. It's boring. Kind of. Sort of. Mostly. It's empty. I wouldn't worry about it. Let's go this way.
Is incredibly important. Definitely later.
Oh, yeah. You head eastward to a hallway that leads north and south. Halaster looks south and he says, "That way, that's the front way that I told you about. Don't take the front way. The front way's bad.
To the south, that's the way to the front way?
That's the front way. It'll fuck you up. Look at me. Look at me. It will
I look
fuck
away.
you up.
I look away. I don't make eye contact.
Okay?
Nope, this is weird.
Are we understood?
This is weird.
You did the deed. You
I look
completed.
I look at his forehead.
You completed the task. I paid you for the task. I gave you the information. If you get yourselves killed after the fact because you don't listen to me and you go in the front way, that's on you. I want you to. That's on you.
What would kill us in the front way?
Stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Magic stuff.
What kind of magic?
Demonic stuff.
Now, when you say demonic, do you mean the other thing?
I don't know. Possibly.
I don't know.
Probably.
It's devilish magic.
It's just stuff that'll fuck you up. Let's go north. Heads north. Says, okay.
Did you hear his instruction before?
I heard the tail end of it. What was it?
Follow him to a T if you don't want to die.
He said,
Okay,
he didn't say follow him to a T. He said,
Nope, that's what I heard. Follow him
stay
to a T.
close and do as I do. Right? So you follow Halaster north, and you come to a large open chamber, right? It's remarkably empty, remarkably clean. There are 6 dark alcoves around the room. And then carved into the floor on the eastern side of the chamber, it's just, there's this kind of like raised lip, right? That's almost kind of like a protector, a guard of maybe about a foot or so of stone. And then there's just a hole, right? And Halaster kind of walks over to it and he points at it and he says, "That's a hole! If you got shit you don't want, or shit you want to get rid of, throw it in there. Don't
This is
fall. It's a hole.
Wait.
How deep does it go? I kind of look over the edge.
You do not see the bottom.
You should just
I kind of
walk
push
over
him
the
a little
edge.
bit.
There's just like a gentle
Just walk
shove at your
over.
back.
No, that will inevitably be such a slippery surface.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
gonna be
fall
so
flat.
slick
yes.
that you will
Oh,
fall to
yes.
your death. Absolutely.
No, he won't fall to his death. He'll fall indefinitely.
I'm
That's
still
even
following
better.
him.
I mean, technically, if you fall indefinitely, don't you still fall to your death? Because eventually you'll starve to death. He's not a high enough level monk to not need food.
That is true.
It's true.
Although he
Unless-
does have a lot of food
unless-
on him, so it'll
I do
take
have
a
lot of
while.
food.
Other creatures
And like a
falling
quarter
too that
barrel
he
of
kills
water.
and get experience
Oh,
off
Oh
of.
shit!
level up.
Yeah, he like tucks in so he falls faster and catches the other things that have been falling, and he murders them and slowly accrues experience.
Now we're thinking.
Nice. And he eats them, right? Speeds up, falls to the next thing, kills it, eats it, accrues some experience. He's in
Has
there
a fallen
for
campfire
decades.
right next to him.
And it's great, right? He's in there for decades, gets to the point, levels up to the point to where he no longer needs food, right? And is basically just like, this is life, right? Like, speed up to the next thing, speed up to the next thing, speed up to the next thing. Until one day he finally just like, hits in this mass of rotting corpses that is like miles thick. Because he's finally found the bottom. Sorry,
Well, thanks. I hate it.
I went off on a world building tangent. I apologize. To the south, you see there is a hallway that leads east. Halaster points at it and says, "That's to the guest lecturer's quarters. We don't have a guest lecturer currently, so I don't see a reason why you would need to go there, but that's where it is." He just kind of shrugs. Guest lecturer's quarters.
Sure.
Also, don't fuck with the guest lecturers. They're hard enough to get here as is.
I can imagine.
All right. I understand that.
Goodness gracious. I don't need more violence, Alright, we continue. He marches northward. Throws open a set of double doors. And continues onward. Ignores the doors to the west.
Okay.
And begins to march northeast. As he does, Bones, you kind of begin to recognize this area. This is the space just outside of the pantry and kitchen area that you very briefly explored, right? Halaster heads a little further eastward, right? And as you kind of come to the situation, you see that the southern wall is collapsed. And there's multiple tunnels kind of like bored through it. And there's debris kind of strewn all about the place. And Halaster looks at it and kind of like tuts and says, yeah, I keep meaning to have this cleaned up, but... well, you know, it just... at the end of the day, what's it really matter? It's just part of a hallway. I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing suspicious or anything like that. Oh, don't go further down that way.
That's
Monster, what created these?
Yeah, what made it?
Earthquakes?
Does it look like earthquakes created
Oh.
these?
I look at it as a dwarf.
Bones, these are most definitely not earthquake made. No. And I mean, I think even Ezrah, and I think everyone else, right? Like, you can see claw marks on the tunnel.
Does it look like Umber Hulks made these?
Not quite, right? Like, you
Okay.
actually have a bit of experience with Umber Hulks at this point. If they were Umber Hulks, they would be small Umber Hulks.
Oh, okay.
the claw size is just smaller compared to the mass of the Umber Hulks that you've seen before.
So,
Right.
Ankex.
Who knows? So,
Grex?
Halaster looks down and he says, "That hallway?" And he points east, and it kind of curves towards the north, and he says, very slowly, as if testing his words, he says, "That hallway is dangerous." Yeah, hey, that hallway is dangerous. Okay?
Thank you.
Right.
Wait, are you also not able to say certain things?
I said earlier
he's
that the rule
included.
it sucks when you make rules that apply to yourself.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pay attention in class. That's 1 point docked from Matashtai.
Oh wow. I never went to school, so
That's not a good attitude, sir. That's not a winning attitude, sir.
Winning. Charlie Sheen over here.
Throws open the door to the north.
Oh God.
And he immediately walks in, and as he does, right, like, you see these tentacle floating things, like little mini beholders, come
oh god.
floating down from the ceiling, and they, as they do, they kind of like their tentacles come out and gesture towards all of you, right? And Halaster's like, "Halt! Wait! Identify! And you see the two creatures kind of like stop, and they turn and they look at each other. They turn and they look at Halaster, and they turn and look at all of you. And Halaster goes,
No, look to him.
"Student," and gestures at Ezrah. He says, "Tour. Get back to your spaces." And they kind of like float back up into the ceiling. As they do, you're able to take in more of the chamber itself, and you see that there are these really big braziers on either side of the room, and there's kind of like green flames just flickering up from these 8-foot tall braziers, right? And they're each shaped like a chalice, right? Like a giant chalice. And this whole room is really dry, right? It's a little warm in here, and it's just very dry. The whole place has been kind of like cold and damp. This place is warm and dry. And the kind of like bright green flickering light is a little, almost kind of like painful to kind of like look at, right? And then carved into the north wall, right here and here, are these stone shelves that look to be filled with unmarked books and stacks of parchment, right? And mounted between the shelves are copper signs embossed with the following words: "Do not remove supplies without Headmaster Blackcloak's written consent."
What is this for?
This supplies. If you need writing materials or a new spell book or something like that. We get some sticky fingers, so that's why the rules are in place and the enforcers are here. So, you know.
Can I have
Don't-
one of those?
Why?
Oh, I need it for school.
Roll me a persuasion
Need
check.
it for school.
You did say he could be a student.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Almost
16.
It's actually pretty good.
Halaster looks at you and he says, "You may have one book and 10 sheets of parchment to start." I can't hear you. Sorry, it's cutting out.
Can I get that in writing?
Oh, right. Just writes into the air. Bones may have 1 book and 10 sheets of parchment. And he throws it into the air, and it just kind of like hovers there for a second.
I go get my 1 book and 10 sheets of parchment.
Okay. Write it down.
I do want to point out that the room that you bestowed was lacking its communication device and any parchment for usage. Is that something that I would restock here, or...
What?
You have the tubes, and you have the device that goes in the tubes, the communication device. That's missing.
It's missing?
It wasn't in my room. And also, there was no extra paper to utilize said device.
Get the paper if you need the paper. Take the paper.
Writing?
Ezrah may have 20 sheets of parchment.
20 sheets of parchment.
And you see Halaster's like very distracted by the whole like missing copper tube, and he's kind of like muttering, very annoyed to himself, like, fucking stole my fucking shit. Damn.
Stole me. Dude, I put the tube there and took it.
Bullshit. All right. Let's go.
Anyone else
Walks.
need anything before we leave? Anyone else?
No one else needs anything.
Can't think of anything.
Marches to the north. He's mad. Big mad.
Big mad. Big
Right,
mad.
it made the headmaster mad.
Throws open the door and steps inside. And immediately
There's a
steps
lot of
to the
people
left.
stacking. Jesus Christ.
Get off of me!
Okay. So you walk into what actually looks like a classroom, right? On the west wall, there's a blank chalkboard mounted there. It has a narrow stone shelf under it, coated in white dust. There are niches under the chalkboard holding brushes and sticks of multicolored chalk. And then hastily scrawled across the board in common is... Wizards of your class cancelled. Research Agaron circa 1071 DR. Expect a quiz.
So write that down. We have a quiz later.
I'll give y'all a copy pasta on
Fucking
that.
quizzes.
And then facing the board, right, are 12 school-style desks, right, where the desk is attached to the chair, right, so it's that kind of like L-shaped thing where you kind of like have to fit into it, and it's real uncomfortable, and it doesn't quite fit you, right, and they're arranged in 3 rows of 4, and each of the desks has cast iron legs, sculpted, a sculpted kind of like copper seat and a wooden writing surface. Most of the writing surfaces, the actual desk portions, have been gouged with graffiti, right, in various different languages. And then there are small stone hooks on the eastern wall, and there is a hallway leading north.
So this doesn't seem like a School of Magic class. This seems like a history class?
There wasn't anything on the door leading into this room.
Well, and even the information in here suggests... Yeah, History of Magic 102, I agree with that. Well, Agaron isn't a history of magic, but maybe magical creatures. Interesting.
Yep. Halaster looks around and gestures and actually walks to the north side of the room and gestures and says, This gestures to the room this is enchantment class. Ha! Enchantment! Ha ha ha! Ah, enchantment! And he keeps walking.
I don't.
Enchanting.
Wow.
Is that like some kind of?
See,
some like
As
mage
soon-
that I don't understand.
Everyone who starts walking into this hallway, right? As soon as you cross this threshold, you immediately realize you hear no sounds behind you. So the first people that kind of like walk into the open hallway do not hear the people walking behind them. You hear things, right? You hear in this hallway, but you do not hear past the threshold into the classroom.
But was it like that while we were in the... It wasn't. No. He was talking while we were in the room, so there's just a barrier.
And Halaster is walking and says, "We're gonna go this way! Don't go to the And as he crosses the threshold, you do not hear what he says.
He was gonna say west, right?
Definitely go to the west is what I heard him saying.
I heard go west, yeah.
You do you, fam. Again, right? Blank chalkboard mounted on the west wall. Narrow stone shelf coated in dust. Niches under the chalkboard holding brushes and sticks of colored chalk. 12 school-style desks. Each of them 3 arranged in rows of 4. Cast iron legs, sculpted bronze seats, gouged wooden surfaces, blah, 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 blah. Small stone hooks on the eastern wall. And again, right, the same scenario. As Halaster crosses that threshold, you don't hear him. And then as you all are following into the room, whoever is first doesn't hear the people behind him. Rinse, repeat, right? And so Halaster, as you all kind of like step into the chamber, Halaster gestures around and says, "And this is Abjuration class. Yay, Abjuration class. Whee! All right, let's go!" And he throws open the next door. And walks out into a large, long hallway.
Big shot.
And he turns and he kind of like gestures east and west, right? And he says, or before he says anything, right? Like you see around you, you're in a long hallway, right? You see that the walls bear mosaics of magical battles, right? Great contests of the arcane, wizard duels, sorceress conflagrations, right? But all of them are magic v magic, right? Unfortunately, much of the artistry has been kind of like chipped away and damaged beyond recognition or repair. So you see like magic, and then you see a just horribly mutilated face of whoever was casting that magic, right? So it's a lot like you're able to tell what's going on, but it's basically impossible to tell who is doing the what's going on. There is, standing in the hallway, a trophy case filled with dozens of trophies of differing sizes and shapes. Halaster kind of like walks over there, right? A quick glance shows that they are for such achievements as Greatest Smiler to Hugh, Most Watchful to Jareth, Most Likely to Summon a Demon Lord, Yarrick. Right behind you. The thing is every single one of them includes like a little portrait, or not a portrait. They're all little statues, right, of in varying poses. They all have the same head, and all of the heads are Halaster Blackcloak, right? So, you know. Halaster gestures to the doors leading north, and he says, "That is the lecture hall, in case you ever need to go to a lecture for a guest lecturer who is not teaching in a particular class. Also, if there's ever, like, experimentations that need to be done in a class setting that the regular classrooms are not prepared for, yada yada. This is mostly This is a worm riddle thing. Let's be honest, I don't really care about enchantment or abjuration, and this is kind of her wing of the academy, so
It's a worm riddle.
Worm Riddle teaches both abjuration and enchantment?
teaches. That's a good one.
She oversees?
Sure, yes. A worm riddle is a wonderful hag who helps me in many ways.
Secretary?
No, definitely not secretary. That would be useful.
Oof.
Wow. I'm sensing some resentment.
No resentment. She just sucks.
Literally or figuratively?
Probably both, but definitely the second one.
Okay, alright, anyways.
Great. Where's
But she's down that way, if you're interested. And Halaster points to the
The
east.
What?
Right.
Okay.
But, you know, not highly recommended. Obviously, if enchantment and abjuration are your things, I guess it's useful to learn some stuff. Yeah, I'm over here as Jeremy. I'm like, actually, yeah, I think Ezra's leans more towards the enchantment and abjuration side of
Yep.
but
Lining up his alley.
Halaster's oblivious of it, right? Like, Halaster's just, you know, right? Like, if you're gonna go in, maybe take some, you know, just be careful.
Nose plugs?
Yeah, those.
Noted.
All right, so let's go. Halaster walks west. Just walks through the wall, promptly disappears.
Oh. Okay.
Why can't I do it? I'm a student here.
I throw
I'm a
myself through the
student
wall.
here.
I expect each and every one of you to just ram yourself into that wall like Zach until you make it through.
Damn, I'm not making it.
I'm trying.
You all made it through.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, I'm in a wall.
Oh, God, no! Okay.
Of course, Mitch.
He found it.
Mitch was the only one actually trying in that situation. That's funny.
Yes.
Oh.
You gave me a mission.
That's
I
true.
did the
You gave it-
mission.
I did.
You gave
Come
him
on, second
permission.
wall.
I definitely did. Oh, God. Okay. Mossy's unstuck. All right. Halaster walks through the wall and slowly walks through a large hallway to the wall beyond. Within this hallway, you find niches
Wait, I know where we are.
line the walls along the north and south. Within each of the niches is a statue. A brief inspection of the hall finds 8 such statues. You guys did enter from the right, but for the sake of my sanity, we're going to do this from left to right, top to bottom. Okay?
So you're gonna do top 1, bottom 1, top 2, bottom 2. You're doing it that way?
Yes. Left
Okay.
to right. Or, yeah. Left to right. Top to... No. Sorry. Left
4
to
on the
right.
top, 4 on the bottom.
Yeah. 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. Sorry.
Okay.
Good God.
Oh, God.
I tried to follow what you said.
The first is a broad, muscle-bound man. He is wearing
Got it.
plate armor and wielding a large two-handed sword. There's a thin glow about his person, and he seems strangely out of place amongst the rest of the statues. He has a half-crazed look in his eyes, and the plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Mural. M-U-I-R-A-L.
Like the fucking next level?
The second statue is a middle-aged man with long, tousled hair. He looks bedraggled, and his face is slightly lopsided. He clutches a rod with a dragon's head, and has an odd, knowing smile on his face. This is a visage that is very familiar to you because it's standing right next to you. The plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Halaster. The third statue is a woman with long hair, her face covered by a featureless mask. She grips tight a crystal orb between two hands. The plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Ezrah. The fourth statue is of a shorter, show-looking woman, her hair a jagged, misshapen mess, with horrible scars down the left side of her face. She holds her left hand forward, talon-like claws twisted outwards, her face frozen in a snarl. It seems like her left arm is significantly shorter than her right. The plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Arcturia. The fifth statue is of a plump Chultan woman, her hair a mane of short dreadlocks. She has a mischievous smile and a wide stance, her hands on her meaty hips. It takes a moment to notice another detail, as the stone carving translates the effect somewhat poorly, but patterns of lightning trace up her left arm and spirals of flame wrap her right one. The plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Marambra.
Oh yeah, Marambra.
The sixth statue appears to be of a Mulan descent. They are fairly androgynous, so it's difficult to determine a gender, but the medium-sized figure seems quite average in almost every way. The head is tilted just so, as if staring back at you. The plaque beneath the statue reads, Rententar. The seventh statue looks male, the figure thin and frail, only barely taller than the show woman. The figure has a dark, brooding countenance. Just looking at it sends a chill up your spine. The plaque at the bottom of the statue reads, Nestor. The eighth and final statue is of a well-built Kalashite man. He has a broad chest and an open stance. A beautiful figure in truth, but his face is cold. There's an air of purpose about the man, a sense of supreme understanding, and a supreme lack of pity. The plaque reads, Trobriand. I will copy pasta that into the Discord for anyone who would like to keep notes of that particular information.
These are all the damn apprentices, right?
This is the 7, yes.
Well,
Halaster and his 7.
Okay.
While that's happening, I was like, so, right, I'll just throw it out there and be like, I thought there was you and 8, right? For a total of 9?
7.
The 7.
No, I mean, I know that.
He's just trying to get some info.
Right.
Halaster looks at you, Ashes. He says, What? They don't speak of the 7? They don't speak of Halaster's 7 on the surface anymore. Halaster's 7. Can you not count? Halaster's 7. He temporarily holds up 8 fingers and then
8.
Yeah.
Halaster's 8.
Who would the 8th be? Who's the 8th?
I don't know.
Tell me who the 8th
We're
is.
asking you.
If there's not an eighth, there's not an eighth. That's fine. Like, I was just curious. Maybe I need to be in school too.
Ezra.
Were you? So you were ultimately trying to deceive
I
him?
was ultimately seeing if there
Roll
was
me a
some
deception check.
nine.
Roll me a deception check.
If there
Let's
was,
see. And you can have advantage because whether wittingly or unwittingly, Matashtai played into it.
Yeah.
Deception.
So it's all my yes and training with the masked man.
Very nice.
Now, also, I've got a -1 on this, so this ought to be fantastic. It's a 9.
I like the 0 that you got.
Better than a 0.
Halaster kind of looks at you and he says, sounds like they need more schooling up top. Perhaps I should open a second branch.
I was literally raised by wolves.
Hey, look,
Where?
Halaster looks at you, right, for a long moment. And then, very loudly, goes, "Ah! Ah! 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 Ah!"
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna stop
Discord,
before I upset Casey. But like very loudly laughs, right? And it doesn't seem like a false laugh or anything like that. It seems like this like moment where it took Halaster a second to get it, and then they honestly like laughed just in a very weird way, right?
I watched One Piece. There's no such thing as a weird laugh.
That's fair. That's very fair. Mitch, do you have the lantern on still this whole time?
I cannot think that I would have.
Okay.
As much as now I wish I did, I could not think of a reason.
I don't
why
have.
I would
I'm not screwing you over. I'm not like asking because he just walked into the invisible thing. It's just I keep seeing the yellow bubble and it's bugging me.
No.
So okay. But anyways, like Halaster kind of like walks through this hallway. And even with the conversation, it's like Halaster's eyes never fall on any of the statues. Never sits here, never hangs out, never actually watches or looks at any of the statues or anything like that. Just kind of like ignores them entirely. And then walks through the hallway or through the wall into the space beyond without stopping, without any like question or anything like that, right? And you all find yourselves back into a relatively familiar hall. The hall where the healing cauldron is. To the north is the kind of like foyer. And to the south is the healing cauldron and the evocation classroom.
We prevented an assassination,
right?
Jeremy.
Yeah,
Come
that whole situation.
Yeah, where we stopped an assassination. Exactly.
And Halaster kind of like turns to you and at this point says, "And that, I believe, is most of the tour. Mostly. I mean, there's still a couple rooms here or there, but they're not super important. We've covered the important things. So yeah." Cool. All right. You all, I'm sure you're gonna do real well. And he kind of like finger guns you, Ezra. Goes, he says, "I'm gonna leave you to it.
I thought I was
Goodbye." And he blinks out of existence. He's just gone. Just doesn't exist anymore.
Hey, does anyone remember the tiefling I was supposed to kill? It was violence, right?
What was the question?
Does anyone remember which tiefling I was supposed to kill?
No, I think it was turbulence.
It was definitely turbulence.
Is this just a I forgot so I'm asking scenario?
Yeah, no, I really forgot.
It's both. It's the
both.
tieflings.
Oh yeah.
It's the sisters. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Alright. As Halaster winks out of existence, disappears, vanishes, poofs, teleports, skedaddles, skidoos. and the party is left on their own, that is where I think we will take our break. We will be back in just a few for some more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you all in a few. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.